And welcome back to the Nordic Components Talking Lead podcast. This is episode 172. We're going to be continuing our coverage of the Big 3 East event, fall event, with some more interviews that we've got here, and I'll tell you about those coming up. But to understand that some of you guys had some audio issues on your cell phones last week with the first part of the interview that we had with Ben Mookie Thomas and Tucker with Custom Gun Garage. Don't really know what the problem was there, but I did listen to it on my cell phone, and there were some audio problems there. But after you get like 32 minutes into it, when we pick up on the next interview, it seems to have cleared up. So I'm going to re-release that first interview later on, but I did want to let you guys know that the rest of the show sounds fine. The first part of it sounds good on a PC, so if you listen on your PC, there was no problems with it. And I listened to it 3 different sources: Stitcher, iTunes, and from our website, and they all 3 sounded fine on the PC. Didn't do that on the cell phone. I just listened to Stitcher on the cell phone, so I don't know, maybe our website might sound better on a cell phone. But anyway, just want to let you know. Apologize about that. Don't know, must have been something with the download. But the rest of that podcast, episode 171, is good. So if some of you got discouraged and quit listening after the first 10, 15 minutes, understandable. But just go ahead and fast forward past that to the 32 minutes into it, and it sounds great. But like I said, listen on your PC, and the whole thing sounds good. And you can go ahead and listen to it before I re-download it. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Next, we want to announce the winner to our trivia question for the San Joaquin Rifle and Pistol Range Extreme Halloween on the range that they're having October the 22nd through the 23rd, which proceeds to that go to benefit Lone Survivor Foundation and the Matthew Axelson Foundation. And I got to harp on you guys a little bit here. Our participation on this was not what I was expecting. It's very low. I think we only had about 10 people participate in this. Guys, there was an opportunity to win an LWRC AR-15 here. You had 2 chances, actually. You could win 2 chances to win that LWRC. And I'm disappointed in the participation. And like I put in the post, I'm probably not going to be doing trivia questions anymore in the future. The whole reason that we do this is to help push and promote those people that are putting up these prizes. And if you guys aren't interested enough, in showing them some support by going to their Facebook pages and participating in these trivia questions, there's really no point in doing them. So this will probably be the last one for a while. And it's an awesome one. Somebody had an opportunity and great chances now. Only 10 out of the 10 people, 4 of those people, I think only 4 of them had the right answers. So without further ado, and these 10 guys, they always participate in our competition. So guys, I'm not harping on you guys. You guys are awesome. We appreciate your participation in our past events and in this one as well. So thank you for supporting the companies that come on this show and put these prizes up. So the winner, drum roll please, is Chuck Sanford, ladies and gentlemen, Leadhead number 1. That's right, Chuck, congratulations, buddy. You are the winner. And, I just want to say something else about Chuck. He's been one of our long-time listeners and supporters. And, with people like him, we couldn't do this show, and we just greatly appreciate him. And then for him to go ahead and do this, before he was even, chosen to win, he put on his post, says, "And if I win, I'd like to donate the winnings to a disabled vet who can attend in the area. Just make sure to give him or her a high five for me when they win that AR." So you guys give it up for Chuck, and greatly appreciate that. Chuck, we're going to make sure that a veteran or two. If he wants to bring a family member, something like that, obviously it'd be up to him. But we're going to give those 2 tickets to a veteran there locally. We're going to make sure Christine sets that up, and they understand and are aware that you are the one donating those tickets. And that was the whole thing with this, guys. You didn't have to be present to win this. You would automatically, even if you didn't go, you would be entered into the raffle to win that LWRC. So even more reason why you guys should do that. Now, you can still buy tickets to this event. They're only $25 a piece. And, again, you don't have to be present to win. So buy the tickets. They'll put your name in the raffle, and if you win, you win. But the proceeds are still going to a great cause. Like I said, it's the Lone Survivor Foundation and the Matthew Axelson Foundation are benefiting from this. And they are doing this in conjunction with VFOB, Veterans Family of Brands. So it's going to be a great event. It's going to be a huge event. So if anybody is in that Linden, California area, and you want to go to that event, I highly recommend it. It's going to be a good time. And then speaking of events, we've got one coming up here in Nashville at the Royal Range. Check out Royal Range USA. They're going to be having a fall event coming up. I think it's the 1st of November, but you can go to their Facebook page, and that's probably going to be one that we're going to attend. If any of you guys are going to go to that, be sure to look me up. So I want to get this out. We've got an upcoming interview with Jason Redman. And you've heard me talk about Jason before in the past. Jason is a former U.S. Navy SEAL. He is the founder and the spokesperson of the nonprofit organization Wounded Wear, and he wrote the book The Trident, which I just recently finished reading. And Jason and I did an interview a while back, and I think I told you guys this. I did it through Google Hangouts. And Google Hangouts lost the audio, the whole audio. I mean, the video was there, but there's no audio. And it was a phenomenal interview. I think it was like almost 2 hours that Jason was sitting down and talking with us. And it was a fun, lighthearted interview. But he agreed to redo the interview. So we're going to redo that coming up here actually this week. We're going to record it. And then we'll be releasing that either next week or sometime later in November. But we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a great interview. Jason's a great guy. And if you guys haven't read his book yet, The Trident, I highly recommend it. It's a great read. So I'd like to go ahead and thank our sponsors. Let's thank Nordic Components, NordicComp.com. They have started a 3-gun team now. It's called the Nordic Gunslingers, and you can find them on Facebook. And their team's going to be made up of veterans and active duty military men and women. As you know, Casey Griggs is one of their sponsored shooters, so he's going to be on this team. And there's going to be, I think there's 4 or 5 other guys right now. Haven't had an opportunity to meet them yet, but once I do, we're going to get them on the show and introduce you guys to the whole Nordic Gunslingers 3-gun team. They just did a shoot up in Rockcastle this past weekend, and I didn't have an opportunity to get up there and meet those guys. I was really wanting to do that, but I just couldn't make it happen. It was Pepper's birthday, so we spent the weekend celebrating her birthday. So you guys get an opportunity to tell Pepper happy birthday. But we're going to get those guys on soon, so make sure you check them out at Nordic Gunslingers on their Facebook page. Go and like them. Let them know that you are Leadheads, supporter of Talking Lead, and show them our support. Another thing about Nordic Components is they just recently sponsored the 3-Gun Nation Shotgun Nationals. So that was pretty cool, and I've got it on good word that they're going to be sponsoring some more upcoming 3-Gun Nation events too. So Nordic is really stepping up and getting out there into the competition world with the shotguns, and of course you guys know they got their ARs out now, so look out. They're going to be formidable opponents with those NC rifles. Frontier Tactical, we just recently did a video on their latest product. It's an adapter to their Warlock system, which you guys know that the Warlock system will convert your AR into a multiple caliber shooting system, up to 90 different calibers now. I think they're up to something amazing like that. It's crazy. But now with this new adapter, you're going to be able to use free float handguards, and they're working on being able to do multiple brands, different brands. So eventually it's going to be pretty much any free float handguard you've got. They're working on, I know, one for Troy. Definitely Nordic Components, they're working on one for them. They've got one out for Midwest Industries, and they're working on some others. So they don't have a proprietary handguard that you have to buy with their system, where similar products like theirs, you can't use your existing handguard system. So that's the great thing about the Frontier Tactical, is that you're able to use your own handguards, your own equipment, to run their system and be shooting up to 90 different calibers from your AR system. So check them out at frontiertactical.com, and then also on your app, if you've got an Android phone, they came out with a new app. It's called ARU, which is AR University, and what they're building that app to do, it's not there yet, but they're adding to it and building it day by day, is it's going to be the go-to informational, site app for AR-15s. Anything and everything you want to know about AR-15s, you're going to be able to go to this app and look it up there. Right now, they've got obviously a lot of their products on there. You can look them up and look at the specs and the 90 different calibers that you're going to be able to shoot from your AR-15. All that's listed on there. But check it out, ARU, it's AR University, and that's an app. I think it's just for the Android phone. You might look on your iPhone and see if it's available there too. But you can go to their website and find a link to it there too. FrontierTactical.com. X-Steel Targets.
X-Steel Targets.
The best AR-500 steel targets on the market and the most affordable. Check them out at xsteeltargets.com. If you want to shoot fun targets, interactive targets, they've got those. You want stationary targets, they've got those. They got the big gongs, all the different kind of sizes that you want. Anything up to, I think, 50 BMG you can shoot on these things. So, it pretty much take on any caliber that you've got. And they've got the cool Texas Star. They've got the double Texas Star. They've got the dual entries. And then they can pretty much make anything that you want. So go to their website, xsteeltargets.com, see what they've got. And if you've got something different in mind, just get in touch with them there, and they'll give you a quote on doing some custom targets for you. And, of course, Cobalt Kinetics. Check them out at cobaltkinetics.com. They've got the super futuristic, as we like to say, AR-15s, the BAMF, and the Edge. And then they've got the black, which is more of your standard AR-15. But you check out their higher end ones, the BAMF and the Edge, and those things are going to be, they're competition ready just the way they are. You're not going to have to do anything to them. Just right out of the box, they're ready to go. And they've got some revolutionary patent pending features on these rifles, like they've got ambidextrous controls. They've got some pretty cool, unique finishes. Obviously, they've got a real kind of people describe them as Star Wars guns. But make sure you check them out at cobaltkinetics.com, and make sure you follow their 3-gun team, which those guys have just been really tearing it up here lately. Rick Birdsall and Keith Garcia, they made the Final Four of the 3-Gun Nation Pro Series, which, there was $50,000 up for grabs. I think that was back October 9th. But they've got some videos and things posted on their Facebook page of that. So go check that out. Let those guys know you're lead heads. And they've got some cool videos of Keith doing his shotgun loading. He's one of the most amazing shotgun handlers there is in the sport. So check them out at the Cobalt Kinetics shooting team. All right, so now we're going to get into this week's episode, and we're going to kick it off with Ben Mookie Thomas again. Helped me out quite a bit at the Big 3 East this year. I greatly appreciate that, Mookie, and looking forward to having you on the show again soon in the near future. we had the Skinny Medic, Deitrick. You guys have heard us talk about the Skinny Medic in some past episodes. We actually got him on, and he doesn't talk a whole lot, but we got him to talk a little bit. And he's got a great YouTube channel. He's all about the medical preparedness and awareness. So check out his YouTube channel at Skinny Medic. And then also, Tim with the Military Arms channel joined us. And Tim was with us for like 2 hours. So, this is a long one, and I'm breaking it up into 2 parts. Like I said, this is going to be part 1, and then I'm going to release part 2 later on this week. But Tim joined us for the entire time here. So we had a great time talking with Tim. Catching up with them, finding out what's the latest and greatest with the Military Arms channel. And then, of course, when we get this many personalities together, it just goes nuts, and we just start talking about everything. But it was a great time. I know you guys are going to enjoy this interview. And then Scott Moore with Whack Outdoors toward the end sat down and joined us for this interview as well. And he's a really great guy. So check him out. Check his website out at Whack Outdoors. Nordic Components is an American-owned manufacturing company proud to produce quality products right here in the USA. As a company, we continually invest in our manufacturing capabilities to ensure that all of our products are the highest quality and most efficiently produced parts available. The Nordic Components business consists of 2 segments, manufacturing and sales. Our manufacturing business works to provide custom machine components for a variety of applications, with our specialty being firearm components. The sales business produces lines of branded firearm accessories to enhance and elevate the shooting experience. We are a company owned and operated by individuals devoted to shooting sports, and many of us shoot competitively. We attend and sponsor a number of events around the country each year where we listen to you, the consumer, and are proud to say that all of our firearm components are a direct result of your input. As a firearms accessory provider, our aim is simple: provide shooting enthusiasts with innovative products of uncompromising performance and reliability. Nordic Components. Check us out at nordiccomp.com. And let's go ahead and get into it, guys.
It hurts about the things as an IV. It's pushing the fluid in that really
I know what it's for. It's like to give them a pathway.
Right. Like, we can't start an IV. That's an easy way to do it.
You recording this? This is actually worth listening
Yeah,
to.
I just got it all going, yeah.
Pushing the IO into the chest really doesn't hurt much more than an IV. It's displaying, like when you start pushing the fluid in, that moves the bone marrow inside, and that hurts really bad.
I just watch those guys putting those things on, man. It's like 9 little needles, and they're like laughing and bam,
when the
taking
rep,
it out.
When the rep comes out, he or she will drill it into their arm or whatever, their leg. They'll just drill it, like a little Black & Decker drill, and it drills in, and they don't move. So they just don't push any fluid into it.
Tell our audience what we're talking about here.
So Mac from Military Arms was talking about the or Military Arms, sorry, was talking
Tim,
about
Military Arms.
Military Arms channel, same thing.
I was close.
Call him Mac. He goes by Mac.
Was talking about the IO's needles that go into the sternum, into the chest. It's got like a bunch of little small needles, like 20 gauges or smaller on the outside, and then a 14 gauge in the middle of it. So
wow.
And what started this conversation was I've seen the videos on YouTube of these guys in the military putting these things in for giggles. And
for giggles.
They're like, oh, they're all laughing, and they stick it in. And it's like, it's this horrendous-looking device that pokes a hole in the center of your breast.
It looks like something from Alien.
It does.
It does.
And
like
then they take it out, and it's even
mouth
worse.
coming at you. It's got this needle in the middle of it.
And it's IV? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or is it a starter for an IV?
So it's where we can't get an IV on someone. We can use this because those landmarks are really easy to find. Mm-hmm. So when someone's in shock, all the blood comes out of the arms and legs to keep the head and the torso alive. So all those veins collapse. So when you're in shock, we have a hard time starting those IVs. So we can use the IO, makes it super fast, and anything that can go IV can go IO. So we can push medications, fluid, stuff like that can go in there.
That's awesome.
You know, he knows all this, but he didn't know to bring IVs to Big 3. I'm sitting here in a sheen of sweat.
Yes.
My ass looks like the Japanese flag, and you can't come up with an IV.
The Skinny Medic doesn't have an IV. What's up with that, man?
Next year I'll have
Dude, I'm serious, man. If you brought those, not only could you get, I mean, people would video it, and that would have value. I think my audio died.
No,
Let me
you're
turn
good.
it. Is that better? Can you hear
That,
me now?
yes, I like hearing myself, if you hadn't picked up on that.
There you go.
I can hear
In
you.
every way.
It is sexy.
Hey, can I talk about you for a minute?
No. Yes.
So, I come on board to Spikes, and the compressor at the time was our flagship rifle. It's beautiful.
Here we go.
So, I go out and I shoot the compressor. I'm like, this suppressor sucks. It's horrible. And they go, well, here's what comes up. So I hear that you've done a video and that you outed our suppressor as sucking as it does.
I think on a meter, right?
Yes, like irrefutable science.
Yeah.
And it was no surprise to all of us. So I sat down with my boss, who's a very nice, candid, good dude. And he goes, well, there was an article written in a major gun magazine where the quote was, "Quiet as a whisper." Some writer wrote this.
Okay.
And I was like, that fucker's deaf. So I said, well, what are we going to do? Here's the truth. They designed those contract specific for the Australian police force. Mm-hmm. It was to take full auto. They had all these ridiculous requirements in the end, in length and everything. In the end, it has like one baffle and you can shoot it for 6 days without it failing. Right. I'm exaggerating. Right. But one thing it doesn't do is make your gun quiet.
Right.
So, but you got to admit it's beautiful.
It is. It's a piece of artwork. Yeah, we've had them come into the store. We've had customers buy them, and simply beautiful rifle. I mean, how you've wrapped the coil, the copper coil around the gas tube, and yeah, it's a good looking gun.
It is.
But the suppressor at the time sucked.
Yeah, our LRS, which has replaced that, is a vastly superior product. Does a much better job. Comparable to, in my estimation, from my ears only. I don't have the little doohickey.
Send me one.
The doohickey.
I'll put it on the salamander. Just drive up and we'll hang out for an afternoon and we'll meter it.
Absolutely.
You should put it through the gauntlet. You should put it through
the gauntlet.
That's my new thing, man.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I don't know. I haven't done suppressors in the gauntlet. That might not go
So
well.
those who don't recognize the voice because he's not been on in a while, it's been a minute since you've been on.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Tim with Military Arms Channel is joining us, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
3
Cows. Everybody.
Class act, man.
We got the Skinny Medic. What's your first name?
Deitrick.
Do you want people to know that?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Skinny
Deitrick,
Medic.
the Skinny Medic. You guys are well familiar with the Skinny Medic. And, of course, Mookie is back with us. Mookie's going to be kind of my co-host this week during the Big Three. So.
I thought you were going to come over the table on me.
Are you serious?
No. I need to talk to you about something.
No,
we've had the conversation before. I think at Big Three. Last year.
Oh, man, I was.
I talked with somebody else with Spikes. I was like, yeah, you know that suppressor. We got another one coming out.
Yeah, and we do. It's over there. Come shoot it, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? You have a video. You have a YouTube channel.
I'm just shooting guns.
But don't you have a YouTube channel?
He does.
I do have a YouTube channel.
This is called Skinny Medic.
Skinny Medic.
What's your Instagram?
Skinny Medic.
Are we on?
Is it SKINNYMEDIC?
Yep.
The Skinny Medic.
So I had to eat good.
You're
exercise,
good with English.
So
English?
I can get fat.
I usually suck at spelling. I'm surprised I got that right. Yeah.
Yeah. So no,
Especially
we're just doing
the first
videos, shooting, hanging out. Kind of different for Skinny Medic. I kind of do a broad videos on the channel. Most of it is trauma, medical related stuff because all these gun guys want the cool guns, cool gear, but they forget about the medical side and forget about the trauma side. So, but that's changing. Like it really has in the last 2 years, I think, started seeing the swing of these Second Amendment guys. These gun guys really want to learn how to like, oh crap, what if something happens? Even like here at Big Three, I mean, we're well off the road. No ambulance is coming in here, so having the
got a hurricane threatening us. You know, it's going to be hard to get some medical attention in.
I will say I've been on more than one range where somebody was hit with a bullet fragment and needed some medical attention. They didn't need life flight or anything, but
it happens
when you're shooting at steel. You're shooting steel projectiles or metal projectiles at steel plates.
People
are going to get hurt.
Need to use that frangible ammo.
What's funny is I shot a video today at our range, a little 15-second Instagram one. The first thing I take out of my range kit and set out is a tourniquet and an Israeli dressing.
Absolutely.
And it's just part of being a grown-up. And I was joking. I know all about your thing. I just wanted you to say it in the microphone.
I appreciate that. Mookie's a great guy. He's harassed me for years now. So,
but he's really nice.
He is.
I try to be.
He's a super nice guy.
Yeah. But you got to bring IVs. I'm getting cramps.
But he's forgetful.
Hemispherical
He's nice,
headache,
but he's forgetful.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go down in a minute, and it will be your fault.
No IV and no grain alcohol. I mean,
So for those living under a rock and you've not heard of Tim and the Military Arms Channel, tell everybody about your channel there. What you do, how it started.
So how did it start? Ask any
You've been
YouTuber
doing
how their channel started.
Years.
Right? It's like it just started.
I just did it.
Yeah, it's like one day I found I had a camera in the house. I started making dumb videos on the internet. It's I don't even know how it really got started. It was just I used to post on the forums quite a bit.
Yeah.
And people would always buy guns and post pictures of the new guns. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video and use this new YouTube thing. This is like 07, 08.
Right.
And instead of writing a lengthy review of a new handgun I'd purchased,
instead of wasting time writing it down, I was going to
just make a video and I put on this new thing called YouTube, and people were like, hey, that's pretty cool. Do more of those, and just kind of went from there. Where I was doing one like every 6 months to one a month and one a week, and now it's 2 or 3 a week.
You got your own
entity there.
Yeah.
What are you guys up to now as far as followers go on that? I mean, you're
I think
you guys
480,000.
way
like that.
up there. Yeah,
It's growing. There's
Small
plenty of bigger
little
ones,
channel.
but it's doing good, man.
they're not many.
Could
not many
I-
bigger ones.
Could I interrupt as I do? So
Yeah.
I entered the firearm industry like a year and a half ago. Like I was in the using firearm industry for 22 years.
Yeah.
And then I just get hired at Spikes, and I get a frantic phone call. Military Arms Channel is going to write or do a negative video review of our suppressor. I'm like, so? And then I type in, and I get to your page, and I look at the numbers, and I go, oh, fuck. So I called every friend. I'm like, do you know this cat? Please give me his cell phone number.
I need
And
to
someone did.
call.
And I tried to be very specific when I said, like, I'm really not trying to alter your thing. I'm just trying to
Explain why.
to share it. And you were so cool about it. Professional.
Yeah.
Like your viewers are getting a honest, no shit, trusted advisory video.
Well, if you listen
No
to the
doubt
trolls,
about
I'm paid by everybody, and
yeah.
I only like companies that pay me
it.
well. And
Company
it's
shill, right?
like, dude,
The
it's
shill.
like I don't
Exactly.
pull my punches, but I don't like totally eviscerate a company. Like probably the worst gun I've shot since I've been doing this was the R51, the first one. And even if you watch that video, I don't say this is complete garbage. It's going to get you killed, and do videos of me smashing it with a hammer. I just said I can't recommend it, and if you're thinking about buying one, I'd think twice.
get
I mean,
something else.
that's as harsh as I was. And the gun went out of production 3 months later, and it took them 2 years to relaunch it. And sadly, I just posted another video of Generation 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
Some
but I'm not
people
the only
don't-
one. I wasn't the
Yeah.
first YouTuber. I got my hands on one. I played with it, and I just did a first shots right out of the box video. How does it work? I kept my original Gen 1 gun,
Yeah.
and it works better, but it's mine
Still
doesn't like
not
hollow
up to
points.
specs.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's as
after
harsh
the
as I
second
am.
try, they'll
Yeah.
just scratch that and move on to something else.
So by
now.
Gen 7, we should have a working handgun. I know Remington's here.
if they
want to punch me, man.
they
It's
were
like-
just on a minute ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the little smooth, funky looking pistol?
Yeah. It looks
Does it
Art
work?
Deco.
Yeah, does it work?
Define work. Does it go bang occasionally? Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
It depends on what ammo in my case.
The high
But
point's more reliable.
VSO Gun Channel and the Firearm Blog did their videos first, and they both had the same issues I had, which was nosediving rounds.
Oh wow.
So
What does nose diving around mean?
means the bullet in the magazine goes nose down, hits
Oh,
the feeder,
yeah.
noses down.
That's what you're talking about in the high point. Wasn't it? No, it was the high point.
High Point was doing it in the
Yeah.
gauntlet. Yeah. And it had a reason. It was filthy.
So is it a mag problem?
I'm not an engineer. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination. It could have been any number of things. They had 2 years to fix it. And I guess they wanted to maintain backwards compatibility because when I first got the gun, I ordered it just like every other dealer does through RSR or whatever, through a distributor, and I got it. And I played it next to the Gen 1, and I looked, and I'm like, externally, outside of the markings, I don't see any changes. The trigger's still polymer, it still wiggles like crazy. My trigger wouldn't reset half the time. On the new gun, I'm like, okay, problems already. I posted that on Instagram.
Right.
Took it out and started running ball rounds through it. Functioned fine. I'm like, okay, this is good news. And then I grabbed some hollow points, and that's when the problem started. And so I'm thinking, looking at it, they really externally they didn't change anything. Internally, I can see that they changed the disconnector. They changed some geometry, perhaps on the feed ramp. They definitely changed the follower on the magazine. But all the parts, for the most part, seem backwards compatible. It could be, it could be magazine angle issues. It could be.
Tooling
think they
is
would have-
expensive.
If they had done any testing of it before they released it, you think that would be one of the key things they would have noticed?
See, I waited for the other video reviews to come out to see what issues they were having, and I just wanted to see if I had the same issues.
Right.
And sure enough,
Same thing.
but again, it's not everybody's going to have those issues. So I have a sample set of one. I always tell everybody that.
Yeah.
If my gun doesn't work, doesn't mean yours isn't.
But odds are, if there's 3 other reviewers out there,
I got on the Remington forums and looking, and it's not uncommon. Nose down.
Not
So,
good.
and how that's
something
not,
would have showed up in their test and evaluation, I would think. Their
you would
tuning,
think. Yeah.
before they released it.
You just made me think of
Quality
something.
control.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Name 3 YouTube channels off the top of your head that you watch.
I mean, usually my friends. So I always watch Iraq Veteran. I watch Hickok 45 all the time. Pretty much, let me think. Who's the last one? You have a YouTube channel? No, I know you do. And what's the other one
Fraction.
I watch regularly?
The people you have.
I have a YouTube channel, but since I sobered up, I stopped making videos.
Why?
I don't like to put a camera at my face when I'm
You
sober.
don't like it?
Yeah, I don't. I like cringe and turn away.
It's tough. It's tough to
You
get
got a
used to.
face for radio like me, right?
Yeah, me too. I should
You
be
don't
doing
mind
radio.
talking, do you?
No, I'll talk all day. Oh, fuck you, man.
This is his niche right
Giggle
here, man.
bums over here.
Yeah. You know what's funny about YouTubers, though? It's like we all get together, and none of us watch each other's videos. We don't have time. It's like we go out and like I'm up to 2-3 videos a week. So when I'm not doing that, I also have Copper Custom, which is our retail side where we actually sell things. I have Full 30, which is another job. So it's like you got all these plates spinning. I have no free time. I don't even know what day of the week it is. If you ask me right now, I'm going to guess Wednesday, but it could be off by day.
Yeah, I asked my wife last night. I'm like, "What day is it?" Like,
right.
I don't know.
Because I don't have weekends. There's no such thing. So
What's the name of your commercial site?
Copper Custom. So that's our online store.
Oh, cool.
So
look at their logo. That's an awesome logo.
Yeah, it's on the shirt.
CU29. Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
the CU feeds into
Copper.
Custom.
Copper Custom. Like
so
that.
We use the military arms channel. We test stuff, shoot the snot out of it. If it's stuff we like and we're willing to stand behind, we sell it. And it's usually the higher end stuff. But it's stuff that if something goes wrong, we're going to say either get you a new one, refund your money, or get you into something else. But I don't want to keep refunding a bunch. We're not going to carry it because if you sell 20 rifles and 10 of them come back, you're losing money.
Yep.
That was the whole concept. We test it, we shoot it, we stand behind it, we sell it.
There you go. And you travel around a lot.
I do, man. I just got
all over the world.
Yeah. I was, a couple weeks ago, I was in the Czech Republic, and then just a week ago, I was out in Portland at FLIR, checking out their operations.
You were in Portland?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite cities.
It was cool, man.
I like wine and pasty white women.
The women there are gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right.
It's because they don't get
my wife's going to kill me.
Oh, it's okay.
So
she doesn't listen to my podcast.
I hope not. This is one time I hope somebody doesn't listen to the podcast. But the women there are
None
gorgeous.
of our wives listen to our shit.
No.
Yeah.
I assure you.
Somebody's going to send a link to her one of these days. But what I thought was kind of interesting, it's an interesting mix. It's almost like San Francisco and Seattle mixed into one city. We were walking around, like, getting ready to leave. We're waiting for killing time to go to the airport, and nothing opens before 10 a.m. on a weekday. Everything's closed until 10.
Really?
10 a.m.
That's their business. That's the business hours.
And it's like, you go to Chicago, and it's like, most stores don't even close.
Yeah.
Like the bars turn the lights off at 4 o'clock and they're back on at 6.
Give them time to sweep and
Right. And go into a city where we're walking around and it's like, man, we can't do anything at 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's crazy.
I need to get into the Apple store. I needed some Apple stuff. I'm an Apple geek and
it's my kind of business hours. That'd be nice.
I know, right? Like bankers.
How late do they stay open?
Town.
Do they close at 5?
Probably 4. I can't remember.
To 4? Then they call it a
Maybe
day?
they stay open to 5.
That's some weird hours.
I was just up there shooting a video, a little short film.
Yeah.
And I tried marijuana for the first time.
In Portland?
Yeah.
You can do that there?
Well,
it's legal.
I had never tried marijuana before, and I go, is that really a marijuana store? And they said, sure. And I don't smoke anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
I've never smoked.
Did you do the caramels?
It was a chocolate bar.
Okay.
And all it did was make me want more chocolate. I go, people go to jail for this?
Like, what the hell?
It was weird because
this is
I
just
noticed
a great
that too.
tool
Like,
for the chocolate industry. Yeah.
every block there's like a marijuana store.
Literally, it says marijuana for sale here.
Everywhere.
It's shocking when when you're like, so this is what freedom's like.
So have you been to Colorado a lot?
No.
Do the stores there open at 10? Maybe it's
and they're just all,
it's a
they're all
gone
stoned.
thing.
They're all like sitting in the back eating Doritos waiting for the high to wear off.
That's right.
We're going to make coffee.
Isn't that where Starbucks started? Was
Seattle.
Was it Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's everywhere. I don't care what country I've gone to. There's certain things that are common. Starbucks, KFC, Hardee's of all things.
Hardee's.
I mean, they close those here in the United States, but they're in every country I've ever been to.
Oh, there's one here. I saw one here.
Oh, really? Like up where I live.
It might be a Junior's or something. But that's
Carl's Jr.
it's a Carl's Jr.
I've seen Carl's Jr. overseas. McDonald's, of course. But KFC, I don't expect.
Chicken.
Fried chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, every country has chicken. I watched a documentary. This famous chef went to talk to McDonald's, and they laid out, he was bitching about their food, the quality, the taste, and all that. They go, I'm making this number up, but it was like this. We're going to serve 1.4 million hamburgers across the globe in a 24-hour period, and no one's going to get sick, and they're all going to taste the same.
All right.
How's your consistency?
Well, no, to that point, there was some guy that wrote, I think it was a journalist that wrote a newspaper article, talked about the McRib sandwich and saying that he doesn't know what's in it. It's garbage. It'll kill you. It's like all processed like seaweed and styrofoam. And McDonald's said, come watch. We'll show you from A to Z how we make the McRib sandwich. And sure enough, they're grinding up real rib meat and taking out the impurities and stuff. Nice. I was amazed to see that because I've always heard, it's not real meat. But then there was that guy that did that movie where for 30 days he lived on McDonald's and he got all
let's be
sorts
honest,
of sick.
He didn't turn into a man until he started eating Big Macs because he was a woman till then. His wife was a lesbian right up to the point where he ate 30 Big Macs. I mean, I get
He's
it.
eating like 3 meals a day or something.
Dude, he was a,
like 30 days,
translucent, ginger, soulless, vegan Democrat. he hated America, and he went out to prove, I'm going to eat real American food. Vegans become so destroyed on the inside that real food makes them sick.
Right.
True.
Anything,
And if you're a vegan listening to this, please buy my products anyway. I'm just kidding. But no, man,
His
like
products
Our
don't
rifles are
discriminate.
vegan friendly.
my cousin is a vegan, and she drank some soup at my house and got deathly like puking and stuff because it had meat broth, like a beef broth, and I was like, "You're so fucking weak."
Did she
Yeah.
get sick until you told her? Or?
Oh no, she's like, I think there was meat, animal products in here. I feel sick in my stomach.
Yeah, see,
She didn't die, unfortunately.
Humans are supposed to eat meat.
Yeah.
By the way, I made that whole story up. My cousin's not a vegan.
That's awesome, dude.
You're actually talking about your wife, aren't you?
No, my wife hates. She drinks gin. She eats steak, and she
Nice.
hates vegetarians.
I have a funny story. A bunch of gun guys were out shooting video. They had come up to my range to shoot the video, and we went to a Mexican food restaurant, which is like the staple of my diet. Like at least 3 meals a day have to be Mexican food. And we have great Mexican food, believe it or not, in Indiana, which is weird, but hey, it's good and it's authentic. So we're at this restaurant, and the waitress comes up and she announces to everybody there, a bunch of red-blooded Americans that kill things, for hobbies and gun owners, right? All us are hunters.
Right.
She announces that she's a vegetarian. And it's like, what? In what world is it okay to work in a restaurant and just go up to a table of guys and say, it was after somebody ordered, I believe, and she's like, oh, you're eating meat? Well, I'm a vegetarian. Like,
She
I don't
works
care.
there?
Yeah. It's like, I don't care. And so it goes around, she gets to me, and the guys that are listening to this, that were there will know this is true. I said, sweetheart, I would eat caged, raised, kitten-fed kitten if it was on the menu. And she just turned white, left, came back, we had a different waiter.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
She's
On
in the
behalf
wrong business.
of America, thank you.
And all meat eaters, yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Seriously, what in the
Yeah.
world is wrong with people when they want to,
Why would you
be a
hire somebody
vegetarian?
like that in your restaurant anyway?
Like, trying to talk people out of buying a beef taco. It's like,
Right. If I'm the owner, she's fired. Yeah.
There's this real high-end restaurant in Los Angeles. I used to
She's
live there,
fuegoed.
called Animal or Carnival Animal, and even their salads get dripples of bacon or steak grease, so that no vegan or vegetarian can ever eat there on purpose. We're talking about the most liberal neighborhood, and they're like, "Come on in, fuck you. We're covering the
Or Muslim.
the mushrooms with bacon juice."
It's bacon.
bacon makes everything
Bacon's
better. But wasn't
good.
it Burger King that made bacon-flavored ice cream or had bacon bits in ice cream that lasted all of about a day?
Bacon-flavored bacon.
Yeah, you can put
Yeah.
maple on it. It's good stuff.
Everyone knows you can put maple on it.
Yeah.
Have you had chocolate with bacon?
Yes, I've actually. Yeah.
Chocolate-covered bacon?
Yeah.
Bacon's good with just about everything, but I do the maple syrup and bacon.
Yeah.
Like I crave
Yeah.
maple syrup and bacon.
That's how my mom makes it. She actually
It's a
cooks
thing
it
in Georgia.
with the maple syrup. Have you ever had that, Mookie? Bacon with maple syrup?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God, it's the best.
I think
Yeah.
every child over the age of 3 has done that.
Oh, yeah?
Like once you realize that plate, you can
Oh,
move things.
wait a minute.
The bacon and sausage go right into
Here's the
the
true bachelor test and manhood test. Who puts ketchup on cold macaroni and cheese?
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a thing, though. I've been doing it since I was a kid.
I'm not a ketchup guy.
Hey,
For
who
some
here has
reason.
made lemon pepper chicken for a girl on a date? Am I the only
I don't
person?
Lemon pepper
I don't
chicken?
care.
No.
Lemon pepper, like it would come in a container, like you'd shake it on a chicken breast, and
Yeah.
you put this dry ass piece of chicken in front of her. But you were 20, so it was going to work out anyway. You know,
Work out.
Yeah, you just say lemon pepper, you think you're being all, cuisined
Lemon
out.
pepper. Yeah.
delicatessen.
She's like, oh, you're just fancy. That's fancy food. Lemon pepper chicken.
How are things in Murfreesboro?
In the borough?
Yes.
The borough's good, man.
How's the real estate market?
It's booming.
Yeah.
It
Are we
is.
in a bubble?
We are in a bubble. We're on a huge bubble, and
Yeah.
that bubble is going to burst again. You
My
know?
wife bought our house short sale, 170. Neighbors just sold for 310.
Nice.
My father, sell the house. We're like, we're just gonna harden in place with this interest rate.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What's your interest rate?
Stupid. My wife's had a credit card since she was a little kid.
Okay. Can you refinance and get it down lower?
We have the low. I don't know the number. I'm not a money person, but my wife is. She runs a big business,
Yeah.
and it is as low as we can go. What we don't want to do is leave, make a huge quote profit, and then have to go find another place inside the bubble.
Right. Yeah.
And she will not move to a rental unit. She's from Wisconsin. They just don't do shit like that.
You guys you're in Florida, right?
Yeah, we're in Tampa.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I don't know what the market is here, but I guess it's doing
Ours is
fairly
killing.
good. Tampa's usually always pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the way ours. Tia just put her house on the market, 2 days ago, and that day it was under contract.
How is she?
That's fast.
She's doing great.
Will you tell her I said hi?
I'll let you tell her. So
How-
tell her right now.
Hi.
Say, hey, Tia.
Hey, Tia.
Hey, Tia.
Hey, man, I was happy to find the meter after all this time. You know how many times you and I met for drinks and food and never did any of that shit?
I know it.
It was ridiculous. But we got to know each other, so now we can...
Absolutely. We can do this shit now.
Let's talk about something that everybody cares about. Trump or Hillary?
Oh, my gosh.
Did anybody watch the vice presidential debate?
No,
I
didn't
couldn't
see
have
it.
cared less.
Yeah, no, zero fucks.
Yeah. So the only reason I watched the Trump and Hillary debate was because I wanted to see the train wreck, and I wasn't disappointed.
Dude,
Have
just
they done
pissed me
two yet,
off,
or is
like-
it still just they've
two's
just done the
coming.
one?
Two's coming.
Yeah, it was very like, what's the point in this? Neither one of them are getting into
You know,
any points.
They didn't
about
talk about
anything.
anything serious. They saw
Just
stupid
like you
stuff.
did this and you did that and you did this and who gives a fuck? We all know they're both of them.
my wife said it. She goes, because they keep releasing all these emails. She did horrible things. He continues to say jackassery things round the clock. And my wife said, whoever's going to vote for either of them aren't changing for any reason at this point.
No.
So, like,
The
literally,
debates aren't going to change.
WikiLeaks
No.
says they've got, like, something that's going to destroy Hillary. My cousins will vote for Hillary if it turned out she invented cancer.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the battle lines are drawn.
They don't
It's-
care.
Yeah.
People don't care.
I've said this
That's
for
just funny.
years. It's like either side, Republican or Democrat, could dig up Adolf Hitler, reanimate him, run him for office, and he would get 50% of the vote. It's just people. American politics have become a spectator sport.
Yes.
It's like I'm rooting for my team. I don't care who's playing on the team.
Right.
It's
That's
my
a good
team
way
or
to
nothing.
put it. Yeah.
And
that's the
don't care.
problem. That's the problem with our political system, I guess, is that you have sides, and people are forced or feel forced to choose to pick a side.
Yeah, because
And-
the time a third party comes in, they're not going to, right now, the way the system's developed, they're not going to get, a third party's not going to get enough votes. I don't feel like.
If they
right
could
now.
just come up with a third-party candidate who could answer, where is Aleppo? That would
Oh,
be
I know,
that
right?
would be a start.
Gary Johnson's like, oh, who cares about Aleppo? What's that? It's like, seriously, dude? But that's the problem with the Libertarian Party is they
Isolationism.
Don't care. Yeah, they don't care about anything global. It's all about doing domestic stuff. And I'm a Libertarian. I'm
So am I.
But it's like we don't have a serious candidate, and everybody's like, oh, Gary Johnson. I'm voting for Gary Johnson. It's like his VP is staunchly anti-gun.
He's barely.
He says he's pro-gun. He doesn't own any, and he's made some anti-gun comments.
Yes, he has.
And then when he went off the deep end in an interview, don't call them illegal immigrants. They're undocumented workers. And he was like red-faced mad. It's like, all right, dude, you just lost all respect.
Yeah.
We have laws for a reason, and if you come into this country illegally, you are an illegal alien.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say
People
that.
think
alien.
that's a race issue, and
It's
Donald,
not.
but Donald Trump is, you have to admit, tone deaf. He does not communicate in a nuanced way at all.
He's
It
not
is-
polished.
Yeah, he says,
No, I think his VP, though, is better spoken than he is, though.
and he's handsome.
Of course. Well,
There's
Trump can't
every
put-
chick will vote for that Pence feller.
That Pence feller.
Yeah, he's handsome.
I think that's probably why they brought him around. you
yeah,
know?
my wife would vote for him. Oh shit, right.
But
Looks like Paul Newman.
They talk about our country being divided, and we're a divided country, but we've always been that way because we have these sides. We have these political party sides. And when you have that, that's the best way to unify our country is to get rid of sides.
Well, see, our founding
Don't have
fathers
sides.
warned against a two-party system.
Right.
And you take a look at other systems like England, who we fought a war to break away from, but you look at their parliamentary system, and anything can happen. I mean, when they have a debate, like you watch C-SPAN and how we have a debate, the gentleman yields 5 minutes to the gentleman from Nebraska.
Right.
And it's this fake courtesy. Nobody in there
robotic,
likes each other.
yeah.
They throw each other into the bus.
Going
every
through the
chance they get.
motions kind of thing.
But you watch like parliamentary sessions in England, and they're like throwing shoes at each other and brawls and
They're getting fights,
And anybody at any minute,
Women walk out of there with black eyes. Yeah.
it's craziness.
What's
man.
wrong
It's
with
like,
black guys?
Black eyes.
Oh,
Oh, you said black guys too.
Black guys matter.
I was like, man, did we go back in time? Hey, I hate to cut it short. My wife just texted me.
Oh, man.
Dude, I had a big thing. I got to say this about my boss. So I called my bosses. I was like, hey, I need 75% of my time cut so I can be with my family more. And I thought I might lose my job,
Right.
or at least a lot of money. You know what they did? Send me on vacation.
There you go.
Spikes Tactical.
Hey, will you talk about
They
where you
rule.
brought, like, the bus down and the water?
They
I
hiring?
think that's really cool what you did.
What did? Oh, we haven't done it yet. When the storm hits, then we
Right.
go do it.
Okay.
Oh, you mean on the microphone?
Yeah, I just wanted, because I thought that was really cool. Like,
Yeah,
that
but-
impressed me a lot when you were talking about it. I'm like, most countries, like, even me, I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. and you're like, no, we're going to stay.
Well, this is our
Something happens.
community, man, and these people are hurting. But I generally, like any of our tithing or any kind of good work, we keep quiet. Like we don't. Well, the reason we don't sponsor shooters is because we give guns away to people in
that need them.
Police, police departments.
Yeah.
We just try to be real quiet about it because I do marketing for the company and I do it with fun shit like surfers and stuff. But when we give, we need to just give altruistically and from the heart.
It's not to say, hey, look at me.
Yes,
It's because you're doing good.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
thought it was awesome.
But at the same time, if you tell people what you're doing, then that's going to spur them to possibly want to do it too. So just real quick, if you don't mind, just tell our listeners what you're going to be doing. I think you did it earlier, but let's do it again. It's worth doing it again.
I really don't. We're just
so you guys are
contributing to our community.
Hurricane is coming
I gotta call my wife.
to Florida.
I'm sorry. I gotta call.
I'm just going to give you a quick plug. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, buddy.
We're going to just talk behind
I'll see you in a
back.
bit.
No big deal.
I'm sorry.
So they're getting a bus full of supplies and food and things that they're going to need for this disaster recovery because it's going to come. This hurricane's coming. And there's going to be disaster.
Yeah.
And he's staying instead of leaving. Like you said, a lot of companies are packing up, leaving, getting home, don't want to be in the mess. They're staying and they're going to be here and they're going to deal with the aftermath.
I was really impressed by that. I mean, because
that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Most people aren't prepared for that kind of stuff, and they're going to be caught blindsided.
Right.
Because right now there's no, like they were talking on the radio, there's no water here.
Right.
Guys are talking about how there's no gasoline in the around. So
we're sitting here literally with a hurricane offshore, and we're all
we're just sitting here nonchalant,
doing a podcast,
talking about guns.
But
and
it's going to be crazy here, and God willing, it maybe just goes back out to sea. We were here 4 or so years ago when Sandy went up the coast.
Oh wow!
But sadly, it made landfall up north, and it made a big mess up around.
They've
New Jersey
already
and New York.
evacuated South Carolina, haven't they?
They've evacuated our whole area that we're sitting in here now.
Oh, it's been evacuated.
We're under evacuation order.
Oh my gosh!
As we sit here doing this.
Yeah, I have some friends who are
gosh.
state troopers in South Carolina, and they're going to turn 26, which is like the main road shoots up north. It's completely turned one. All roads now are going away from the coastline. So,
So
So we're not getting.
My
out
wife
here
is
anytime
texting
soon.
me. I said, we're probably leaving tonight, and she's like, "Oh, sweet, you'll be home on Friday." I'm like, I don't think you understand how this works.
Yeah.
Everybody's fleeing.
Everybody's getting out of here.
Yeah, there's no gas, there's no water, there's no nothing.
I'm
going to
head across to 75.
That's what I was thinking.
to
I live in,
Don't post this until after the hurricane, so everybody knows our
everybody
evac plan.
By the time people hear this, it would have already hit, and
we'll already be home.
Yeah,
hopefully
somewhere.
But
we'll be somewhere other than here, definitely. But let's talk about what you guys got coming up at the Military Arms Channel.
So
some new projects.
The channel itself is pretty much staying a constant direction. I think more this year I've focused on doing things that I find interesting, like old surplus guns and 80s guns. A lot of people don't. Until just recently, they didn't realize how many firearms I've had in my collection. I get questions all the time. How many guns do you have? And I don't answer it because I honestly don't know. But and so I've started pulling out some of the old weird things and doing videos of stuff that's just fun for me.
Cool.
Because everybody's talking about the new stuff. And so I think this year I'm going to continue to focus on the old stuff. I'll roll in some of the new stuff that's of interest to me. But that's what the channel's about. People always say, why don't you talk more about revolvers? It's because I'm not a revolver guy.
Yeah, it doesn't interest me.
Right. I don't do things about things I don't have any interest in. Yeah. So I'm just going to continue on that path. So
what's an example of one of the older ones that you're going to do a review on?
So let's see. One of the things I'm going to do a video on probably when I get home is a Sterling Mark 6. And a Sterling submachine gun was a post-World War II based on the Sten gun, 9mm submachine gun. The Brits used it for the longest time. It's kind of iconic. It has a magazine that goes in the side of the body versus the bottom. Mm-hmm. And they imported very few of them, as they're actually made in the UK. And they were imported for a short period of time. I think globally 1,600 of them exist, semi-automatics.
Wow.
And so that's I actually have one. I'm going to break that out of the safe, and I'm going to show people that gun. I have Nighthawk carbines, which, unless you're my age, 48 years old, you don't know what a Nighthawk is, but it's an oddball American Uzi knockoff from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Just weird stuff. Linda carbines and pistols. MK760, which is, I mean, so there's stuff that most people, like the millennials, don't even know exist.
Right. Yeah.
So I always tell
think
people
that's awesome.
The 80s were a great decade, not just because of the cool hair and funny makeup and rock music, but the guns.
Don Johnson.
Every little guy that had $10,000 started a gun company, and they came up with the craziest, wackiest designs.
Right.
And they all went out of business, but they left behind all these cool guns, and I collect them.
So. But that's what I like to see, and I'm seeing a lot of that now. More and more of it now. these companies that are popping up with these ideas, they're being innovative.
Yes.
They're trying to think outside the box. They're not trying to repeat and do the same thing. But, the way that our government's going, they stymie the innovation in our industry.
Right.
Because people are so afraid to try something new or different because they're just, afraid that,
they're going to lose their money.
For a month from now, that it's going to be outlawed. It's going to be banned. So they're stymieing our innovation and people's desire to bring the technology to this industry and take it to the the next level.
It's like we can't even develop our own next generation military service rifles because ATF is going around to manufacturers and saying, hey, you can't have more than 2 of any one type of machine gun as a manufacturer. So here you are R&D building a new firearm, and you're a licensed manufacturer, and you're trying to develop something. Maybe you hope to sell to the military.
Right.
But you can't have more than 2 of them.
Something that protects our freedoms.
That sucks.
I mean, but the regulations, because I'm a FFL-SOT, and we've looked at doing the manufacturing license, and it's like it's just insane. But now they're even coming down on gunsmiths.
That new thing that the Obama pack, I can't remember what it's called, but we talked about that on the show. They have to go and register as firearms manufacturers. They do anything that changes the or enhances the gun.
Right. Now you have to basically get a manufacturer's license.
Right. They don't even have to actually cut or do anything. It's just if they're changing something on the so a gunsmith. Like you said, if he's fixing it or something.
It's incremental. And most gun owners don't realize what's going on because it doesn't directly affect them. So they don't know that the ATF just put a bunch of gunsmiths out of business. They don't know that we're looking now to FN and companies that aren't even American companies. We have FN supplying us with our AR-15s, M16s, our belt-fed machine guns.
Right.
Beretta has a service pistol contract currently. I know they're under review and looking at a new pistol, but I almost guarantee it's going to be a foreign company that wins it.
Yeah.
Because our government does everything it possibly can to destroy the gun industry in the United States.
They do.
The average shooter just doesn't know because they can walk into any Cabela's and they'll see walls of guns. They think everything's
honky-dory,
Yeah, but we in the business are going like, man, these guys are just killing us.
They are.
And then once ATF,
they put that chokehold on the industry.
Yeah, they do. Once you, it's like the IRS, man. You get the ATF on you, they will not leave you alone. They will.
They're relentless.
So you got to be careful. You got to cross your T's and dot your I's. And so I was just in the Czech Republic, and I was posting stuff on Instagram. We like to think that we're the land of the free, home of the brave.
Right.
I agree with the brave, but we're not the land of the free, man. I walked into a gun store, and they had a Scorpion semi-automatic with the folding stock, what we would consider an SBR.
Right.
And it was a machine gun that they had just taken the machine gun parts out of and just manufactured semi-auto parts. The machine gun parts would still go right in it.
Yeah.
And they were selling it for something like 580 crown, which is like $200 or less.
Oh my gosh.
And anybody could buy it. Now, you do have licensing things. I asked, it's a little bit more involved, but you have to go to your local police and pay them $20 or the equivalent $20 and get a permit. But then you can go buy this thing and you can just keep it in your house. And they have firing ranges. They have concealed carry.
This is in the
Czech Republic. I walk into a supermarket. They had a BB gun store, airsoft store inside of a supermarket. And as I'm walking in, I took a picture of, no gun sign. So they have no gun signs because there's people there concealed carrying. And they can buy guns. When I posted those pictures on Instagram, my followers are like, get out of here. Really? Yeah. That thing's like $200 because the same gun over here is $800 or more.
Yeah.
And you can't have the stock working.
But that one's fully auto though, right?
No, semi-automatic.
It was semi-auto?
So you can't own machine guns in the Czech Republic. More licensing, but we can't buy a new machine gun in the land of the free.
No.
But they can in the Czech Republic.
Brand new one, huh?
And you can buy machine guns.
I'm sure suppressors are encouraged there also, rather than frowned upon.
Yeah. I mean, but basically they have gun rights. Yeah. It's not constitutionally protected, but they have more freedom, basically, gun freedom than we have, and we have a Second Amendment.
Yeah. Me and my wife have been looking at suppressors because she shot suppressors. She really likes it. So we've been looking at it. It's ridiculous how long it takes to get back the paperwork and all that stuff. I'm like,
yeah, we were talking about it earlier. It's like over a year now on some of that stuff.
Yeah, like if I pass the background check, I should immediately. I mean, it's dumb. It takes that long.
Okay, so this is what's funny. So again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. The ATF is incrementally. It's not the ATF. I mean, they're the attack dogs following the orders of their masters. In this case, it's Obama and his administration. So banks won't loan to gun companies and all this other stuff. Well, what they're doing with 41F, I mean, there were no suppressors used in crime. Everybody that is anti-suppressor, they're typically anti-gun too, and they think they're tools of assassins. No, they're not. They're never used. I can make a suppressor with $10 worth of parts I pick up at the local hardware store, yet they're never used in crime.
Yeah.
And so 41F
It's your oil filter and you got a suppressor. Yeah.
Right. And so 41F comes along. It was meant to stifle the suppressor market and SBR market and everything else that basically, until it happened, trusts were legal entities with the rights of a person basically, but they didn't have a background. So you could get away with having a trust with no background check of the people in it. Well, Obama couldn't have that, despite the fact nobody's ever misused it.
Right.
Just couldn't have that because it could be misused. So now the background check that you're talking about, this is the irony of the whole thing. First of all, ATF is still doing things with paper. They never got the electronic system working.
Oh my gosh.
So we're in 2016 and they're still doing things with paper. And now a background check, the NIC system that when you come into my gun shop and you buy a handgun, and I do it on a computer, but it's a phone call for most people. A phone call background check, and it's approved within 10 minutes, and you're out the door with your gun. When you're buying a suppressor, an SBR, and you should be able to buy a machine gun, it's the exact same background check, but with paper. So you mail the paper to the BATF. BATF opens the envelope, takes your money out, puts it in the bank, then they mail it to the FBI, and it sets in a stack on some FBI agents.
Right. They got a stack like that.
Hundreds of thousands of pieces of paperwork. Yep. And then one by one, they go through and do a background check that I could do with a phone call at the gun shop. Because they're using the exact same database. And then they go, okay, this person passes. They lick the stamp and they put it in an envelope, mail it back to the BATF where it sits on somebody's desk for 3 or 4 months. And then they go, oh, okay, they type your name into a computer, which we could do for them at the gun shop and collect their tax. And then they mail it back to you a year later. And why isn't that automated?
Yeah. That makes me so mad.
It is. It's asinine.
Oh
it's ridiculous. But do you really think that any politician is going to say, we got to fix this so people can buy guns more quickly?
No.
They won't touch it. NRA won't touch it. Nobody will touch it.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, I told my wife, because I went and we're really shopping for one. My wife's like, "Is it gonna take a year?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yep. So you're going to pay $1,000 for a can.
Yep.
You're going to pay a $200 tax, and then you're going to wait a year before you can even touch it.
Before you even touch it.
I'm gonna forget about it for then. I mean, I'm like, "Oh, I ordered this." Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So basically, what I tell people is like, just buy one a month, and then after a year passes, every month you get a new one.
It's like Christmas every month after that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a complete mess, man, and I'm kind of militant about it. I think that there should be no. First of all, I think the tax on guns and anything firearms related is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court's already ruled that you can't tax, say, a newspaper they ruled that you can't tax a constitutional right in the case of a newspaper. Well, the same thing applies to the Second Amendment, right? You shouldn't be able to tax a constitutionally protected right.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So I think that the NFA is completely unconstitutional, and if it were actually challenged, unless Hillary gets in and seats a justice or two, they would agree with us because they've agreed in the past with that. But it's a complete mess. I don't think that you should, have to go through any of these hoops to be able to exercise a constitutional right. It'd be like me saying, I want to write a blog, but first of all, I'm going to pay a $200 tax.
But that's why they do it.
Bureaucrat
that's why they put all this crap into place, is to discourage people from wanting to own them.
Yes, because it's
purposely
backdoor gun control.
Right.
We're going to harass you to the point where you don't want to do it.
Right, because the average person, you tell them you're going to have to wait a year for a suppressor, like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I don't want one.
I don't want one that bad.
Yeah, I don't want one.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's harassment. And what is it? It kind of cracks me up, the irony of it all, like the SBR thing. When somebody comes into the shop, I'll show them an SBR and say, no, this is a regulated item. But this handgun that I can easily hide in the front of my pants is unregulated. But they want to tell you that because this rifle, which has a stock on it,
less than 16 inches long,
with an 8-inch barrel that's still an overall length of 20-some inches,
right?
Which I can't stick in the front of my pants and hide.
Yeah.
We need to regulate that because it's
4
too
times
small
more
and
than
concealable.
the pistol.
Yeah. And I don't want if you're an ATF agent listening or a politician, don't use my words against me. It's all of a sudden ban handguns because they're concealable. But it's just so stupid. The laws make no sense. And anyway, I could go on forever. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay.
No, I get riled up.
We don't do politics on the show, so it's good to talk it every now and again.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about something else besides
our listeners,
things that make me mad. And
let's talk about Skinny Medic and what he's got going on.
Yes.
So, I do preparedness videos. So I've been, my tagline is, you'll never know when you'll be the first responder. So I just want to focus on, being that first responder, especially with these mass shootings and stuff, being more and more in the news, like teaching everybody how to use a tourniquet. The tourniquets are okay. They're not bad. There's readily pressure bandages, things like that, using bandages, and just trying to do more trauma, because these mass shootings are just more and more in the news, unfortunately. So focusing on that, like I said, we're doing, you never know when you be the first responder, so we're trying to do some more firearms. Such has been trying to do more firearm stuff, so I enjoy that. I try to stay with them first aid. That's what I'm good at.
I can't resist. So actually, shootings in the United States are down
Yes.
from 1970.
Right.
They continue to go down.
Yep.
It's just that the media takes every little incident and spins it out of control.
They highlight it. Yeah, exactly.
Especially
So-
the officer-involved shootings right now. I mean,
Well,
just
see, that's the latest
That's
thing.
the thing.
That's the latest
Yeah.
thing. Now
They're
got
not doing their job if they don't find one and report on it.
it's
You know,
ridiculous. And then that causes the riots because they're not
Right.
protesting. These are riots. These are not protests.
It's not a
no,
protest.
it's a riot.
It's a riot.
It's a flat out riot.
And again, here's the media serving an agenda because I don't know, but I think that perhaps they want a federal police force. That's the reason that the left media is pushing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so 10 years ago, kids growing up wanted to be a police officer. And I know my local PD, and their applications are way down. Nobody wants to be a police
It's
officer.
a scary
Because
time
of
to be a
it's-
police officer.
It is, because
it's hurting. It's hurting the law enforcement.
a police officer defends himself
Severely
justifiably,
undermanned.
shoots somebody that's holding a gun to him, shoots him, and the media spins it as,
They're the
it's
bad guy.
automatic. Yep, it was a bad shoot. And so, and before the evidence is
Exactly.
even, you have Obama on TV and Hillary on TV saying it's a gun problem
they're
and the
gonna jump on
police
gun
need to
control.
be able. The police are out of
Before
control.
any investigation was done,
Right.
they immediately said that.
And then 2 weeks later, the video comes out, and the guy, sure enough, is standing there with a gun.
Right.
Please drop your gun. Please drop your gun. The cop wasn't even demanding. He's saying, please
And
drop
this was
your
the
gun.
one where the lady was videoing it
Video-
herself, and
and
she's
she's
like,
telling
he
him, don't
ain't got
do
no
it.
gun. He ain't got no gun.
And she's telling him, don't do it. Don't do
No,
it.
good and well, he had a gun.
Right.
What's he telling her not to do? I mean,
But regardless, it comes out later. It was a justified shooting.
Yep.
But the politicians spun it up. And nobody. It's like
But all anybody remembers
damage
now
is done.
is that
They
a
remember the
police
hype.
shot an unarmed man,
Mm-hmm.
which he wasn't.
right. But that's what they remember because that's what blows
they
up.
first report. Yeah.
we had one in Anderson last week, I believe. We had a school shooting. It was elementary school. And there was an off-duty firefighter who was actually carrying a gun. He didn't. I'm not sure if he used it or not.
I heard about this.
But
Yeah.
he tackled this dude and stopped the mass shooting. He unfortunately did kill one of the little
They s-
boys. But
Yeah.
They said he
freaking
took
stopped.
him down. I don't know what that's what everybody keeps saying is that he took him down. So I think
whatever your definition of took down.
I think
is.
he actually tackled him. I don't think he used his firearm. I'm not sure.
No.
I hope he hurt him bad.
Because it
That's
came
just
out
me.
first that he was unarmed. I'm like, well, I don't give a crap. He stopped it. That's fine. But now
Yeah.
he's saying he was armed. I'm like, I don't give a crap about that either. Like whether he was armed or unarmed.
Yeah, right.
So he stopped this mass shooting. Like,
But he's still alive, right? The guy that did the shooting.
yes, the guy did shoot.
See, that's what I want more of, is them to get these guys and not kill them and actually put them on trial so that the public can see what kind of mindset that these people are. You know, most of them are freaking nuts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they are.
You know?
They're looking for their 15 minutes.
But if
And
they get shot, then the media's coming out and tugging on America's heartstrings, and
Well,
oh, he was
here's
this and
the
he was
problem.
that. And
So the minute they get a high-profile shooting and they run it on the 24-hour news cycle and get everybody all hyped up and talking about it, all they're doing is inspiring other lunatics to get their
Exactly.
15
Get their
minutes of fame.
15 minutes fame.
It's like, man, this guy, they learned everything about it's investigative reports for the next 2 months. We dug into the background of so-and-so, and this is what he did, and this is where he ate his lunch, and this is where he
They're
grew up as a
glorifying
child.
him,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so they're programming the next group of lunatics
like,
to
I'm
go,
gonna get that kind of
yeah,
fame.
man, I want to
Yeah.
be. I want to be on TV for 2 months.
Right.
Disregarding the fact they're going to get killed in the process, possibly. But it's like the media is helping to create the problem.
Yeah, that is.
I
They
think
do.
the
They
minute
do that.
something like that happens, you don't mention the shooter's name and you erase them from the history books.
Yeah. That's
I
what I
agree.
try
You
to
don't
do on this
glorify
show. Is I just call dickhead or
Yeah.
asshole.
I won't
I don't
mention
say
their
their
name.
name.
Yep.
Yeah,
Don't
they don't
mention
need
their
a
name.
glorification for that.
Nope.
I mean, that's but one of the little boys he shot,
ahead.
he got shot in the leg and he ended up dying a few days later. But he bled out 75% of his blood on a playground, and I'm like,
Jeez.
man, that sucks. Like, that just
Because nobody had a med kit.
nobody had a med kit. I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't one of the officers. Medics on scene, but I'm like, somebody let's put pressure. Let's
Right.
make a tourniquet. Let's do whatever we need to do. And I'm like,
Right.
so that's what my channel is. It's
But-
all about if I can save one person. I was buying a MacBook at the mall, and the lady's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I make videos on trauma." And she's like, "Why do I need that?" And we're standing at this huge mall, and I'm like, "Do you understand that people could die right here?" And they're like, "Oh no, we have security guards." These security guards haven't done anything.
2 flights
Go
this
ask
year.
that security guard what his training is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 flights this year, we've had medical emergencies on board the aircraft. Fortunately, there were doctors on board, but 2 flights this year. So
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
You just never know when.
You never
that's
know.
That's the whole point in
never know when
knowing
you're
it,
the first
because you never
responder.
know.
Yeah.
You never. That's your slogan, isn't
Yep.
it?
So I mean, you're more likely to use your medical to save a life than you will your firearm. And we
It's
spend
true.
we spend a lot
True.
of money on our firearms. I spend a lot of money on training.
Yeah.
I want to shoot. I want to get better. So I spend a lot of money on training and with different people. But people forget about the medical side because it's not sexy.
Well, that's something we preach on the show, is that that's part of your being a responsible firearm owner,
Absolutely.
and having the medical training is part of that. To
Yep.
be a responsible concealed carry, open carry, whatever you carry, no matter what state you're in, that's part of it. Even if you don't, if you're not a firearms carrier, like you said, odds are you're going to be at the scene of an accident or something before any
Pull up on the
firearms
side of
ever
the
going to
road.
be
We've
used in
all
your
passed
life.
accidents. I mean, I've seen accidents happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's
You know?
bad. It's like, they're not moving on the ground. They look
Right.
bad. And that's
But on the other side of that, it's like I don't have any professional training, and in today's litigious society, it's like I know if I stop and try to render help,
That's
even if
another
my
thing.
best effort, it's
Yeah.
like, and the person dies, the family can come after me and sue me and say I killed them.
Yep.
most states have a Good Samaritan law. I know
See,
South Carolina
yeah.
has one. I don't know about any, but most of them have a Good Samaritan law. It means like if you pull up on the side of the road and you put a tourniquet on the guy and the guy still dies, they can't do anything about you because
Right.
you tried.
That's the way it should be.
You tried to
Yeah,
you tried to
absolutely.
help. So
It's better than doing nothing.
But they're still going to try to sue you.
oh, they're gonna
Right.
try.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
You got to lawyer up. Get close, please.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
The shooting you're referring to in Anderson, that was actually in Townville,
Yes,
South
sir.
Carolina.
Yep.
And the volunteer fireman did tackle the young man.
Yep.
And what's worth noting is it was a young man. It was a 14-year-old kid. He's just a little kid,
Yeah.
but got off on the wrong track mentally.
yeah, something.
Has some
I-
serious issues.
He's got some mental issues because I said, you know, he apparently he shot his dad right before the shooting.
Killed his dad, yeah.
Killed his dad right before
Killed
the
his
shooting, and
dad.
then goes out. So it was a handgun. So it wasn't
Yeah.
an SPR. It wasn't anything like that. So
I know.
And
It's pretty bad every time something like that happens. We go, oh, please don't be an AR-15.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
like.
It's like,
Please don't be an AR.
I just please don't ever happen again is what I like to think. But it's like they have us so programmed that we're constantly on the defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And that was not a planned event on his part. That was happenstance. That he came by the school
yeah,
and he took a fling and he crashed into the gate and jumped out and started shooting. No intended target, just decided to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of these people. I mean, it's just kind of something
snap.
trips, they snap, and then, they don't really plan it. Some of them, but some
Right.
of them do.
But
a
most-
terrorist, that's a
it's
terrorist.
nothing new. It's like the media wants you to think it's a new phenomenon. It's only because of the easy access to guns, but this has been going on since human history, written history. It's nothing new. The same day that we had Sandy Hook in China, the exact same day in China, they had a guy go into a school and slice and stab I don't know how many students. They didn't want to talk about that.
Right.
Because-
Never heard about that.
Right.
So I was going to say,
That never made
overseas,
the
I mean,
news.
you see these attacks with knives and stuff, and they're just violent. And
I tell you what, I'd rather be shot than stabbed. I hate knives.
yeah,
I mean,
knives scare me. Like I did a knife class this last year, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy was fast. Like
Yep.
before I could even shoot on him, whatever. He was on me, and I'd been stabbed multiple times. I'm like, that would suck.
that type of force training is critical because people that have a gun will think, oh, I have the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the distance we're sitting away from each other, my knife is far more lethal than my gun.
Absolutely, I would never
And-
get my holster out. I'd never be able to
Right.
draw my holster. And
But,
like, oh,
but guys
on
with
top of him.
guns, guy has a knife, like, he's got a knife, I got a gun, I win. And they'll stand their ground, and they're going to get killed. If that guy has even the slightest bit of training with a
I
knife,
got 2
you're
legs, 2 feet. I'm going to be running.
Yeah.
done. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what proper training is like. If you can avoid a confrontation, then avoid it. Walk away.
Right. Absolutely. I mean,
That's your
especially-
best defense. Is
Yep.
just walk away.
Try to de-escalate, and people always want to go out and get training on, like, how can I be a ninja? How can I kill somebody faster? It's like, why don't you talk about how you can de-escalate, like, road rage? Like, somebody comes up to you at a gas pump. How do you talk them down? How do you get out of the situation?
Yeah.
Because the last thing I want to do is get into a gunfight with somebody.
No, because your
but-
YouTube channel is going to be pulled up.
Exactly. I'm like, see, this guy's a nutball. It's like, yeah. Boy, if that ever happens, you always see these people like, so-and-so, some whack job shooter, and like, he had 2 rifles in his closet and 100 rounds of ammunition. Like, oh boy, if they ever come into my house. Like, so the ATF was at his house for 3 months inventorying the ammo
with their paperwork.
Clipboard ready to go.
But back to my point,
their
it's like
Polaroid cameras.
people don't get all the training. They want to be the ninja, but they don't get the medical training. They don't try to find out how to de-escalate. They don't try to find out how to do other things less than lethal, to get out of the situation, because the last thing I want to do is, have to use my handgun defensively. I want to avoid it at all costs, because as soon as that happens, everything changes. Now in my
Your
state,
whole life changed. Yeah.
it does. In my state,
Mentally,
we have,
just psychological part of it.
well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Right. But, yeah. So some states have stand your ground. Florida does. My state does. So like if I'm at the gas pump and somebody is beating the snot out of me for no reason, if I'm in fear of my life, then I can use deadly force.
If it gets to that point, then obviously, you're going to want to defend yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But you still want to try to get out of the situation.
Right.
Like if you can just walk to the other side of the car and just say, hey, dude, whatever,
Yeah.
I go to the other side of the car, get in my passenger door, hit the lock button, and drive off.
Yeah.
That's better than getting into a gunfight.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people just want to be ninjas. And so they don't take everything into consideration, like the medical side or the de-escalation side or whatever. But
that crosses a lot of different boundaries, because even with the survival training, which is more my specialty, people want to learn how to crawl under rocks and eat bugs. But the first thing I teach them is, if you can avoid being in the situation where you have to,
Right.
you're in a lot better
Introduce
shape.
yourself so our listeners know who you are. You started talking, so they're like, "Who's this? Who joined the conversation?"
All right, my name is Scott Moore. I'm from Whack Outdoors. We primarily provide archery training and training in all things survival and bushcraft. And I walked into a conversation about guns, and that's not necessarily my forte, but like every good red-blooded American, I own my share of guns, and I'm prepared to defend myself and not afraid to do so.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I think today's society, as you were discussing, is so dead set on putting that stigma on anyone who's willing to stand up, stand the ground, get a gun, and defend themselves. And the liberal media does everything they can to escalate every time a police officer or anyone else uses a gun into a horrible situation that could have been avoided, and no one ever talks about the daily events when a gun was used to save someone's life, keep a family intact,
Right.
and keep a perpetrator from devastating other individuals permanently for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I mean, we all know that firearms do far more good in society than they do harm. I mean, it's well documented. We know that.
We know that,
But
yeah.
the media just loves to spin it that if we would just get rid of guns, all this gang violence and stuff would just magically go away, like it has in Australia,
Chicago,
and England,
in Australia,
and, right? You know, it's like it's a joke. They don't even try to learn.
Yeah, their gun violence and crimes have gone away because they use other things, though. Their
Well,
violent
like,
crime rates are
way through the roof. So like in some countries, if you defend yourself with a kitchen knife from somebody that's illegally entered your home, you can be thrown in prison because you could have like tried to get out the back door. Oh my God. You simply cannot fight. Like even in the Czech Republic, I asked them, okay, so you have concealed carry permits. What happens? I mean, what are the laws governing self-defense? Like, you don't want to have to shoot somebody because chances are you're probably going to go to jail.
Then what's the point in having it?
Yeah, right?
At
It's
that
like,
point, you know? Then what's the point in having it?
So, right. It's like,
I mean, you're going to live, but, you're going to go to jail.
I believe in castle doctrine, right?
Yeah.
If I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I walk downstairs and you're in my house, I don't know you.
No. You got no business being in my house?
You forfeit your life because I'm not going to find out what's in your hands. You shouldn't be in my house. There's no legitimate reason for you to be in my house. So I believe in castle doctrine. Absolutely. I believe in stand your ground.
Yeah.
I believe in all those things because we have a right.
If a spooky clown is standing out in your yard just staring.
Dude, isn't that weird?
That is weird.
It's weird.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I saw a false news story that went around. It started on Facebook where I think they said it happened in Indiana, like Fort Wayne or something, that somebody had shot a spooky clown.
I'd heard that, so it wasn't real?
It wasn't real. So they cited a real news channel in Fort Wayne and made a blogspot.com / and took the logo from the media site, everything, to the point where that actual news site said, hey, this isn't us. This didn't actually happen. It was well written, and everybody was circulating as somebody actually shot a spooky clown.
Well, it's actually a brilliant idea because maybe that'll get these jackwagons to quit dressing up like clowns and
what is wrong with people?
Spooking people.
You watch these crazy videos, and they have to do it in other countries, where like the one that sticks in my mind is they had an elevator where they had made it like a false wall, and they had like this girl dressed up like those movies, where like a young girl with the straight hair over her face in a white dress. And so when these people would get in the elevator, they would turn the lights out and turn them back on, and there was this creepy thing standing in the corner, and they're just freaking out, right? It's like, man, that isn't happening in Indiana because that ended in a one-sided gunfight. It'd be like,
I saw it's one of the Asian countries. I can't remember. It might have been Japan, but they would like hide behind corners, and as people would walk by, they'd just jump out and go,
no, jeez. The guys that wear the
do that
Arab,
in America.
Yeah, like the Arab garb, where they're running around throwing backpacks at people. Those videos, you know what I'm talking about?
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're not doing that in Indiana.
They're not going to do it. Are they doing that in America?
I don't know where they're doing it. I want to say
that's got to be another country.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Australia or something.
Because people are going to get shot.
I would shoot
doing
them
that
and
here.
wear my SkinnyMedic.com t-shirt on the news.
But with all that said, I have to admit those videos were funny.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys
they
were
are funny.
Creative. They were creative. Like that one time they ran up and threw a backpack at a guy, and he starts sprinting down the street by this row of fences, and then another guy in Arab garb comes out on the other side and throws a backpack at him, so he's running away from the first guy. Another guy jumps out in front of him, throws one at him, he's like running back towards the first backpack.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
But people are out of their minds.
All right, I'm going to go shoot some guns. Thank
I
you.
hear them shooting, so
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
appreciate you being on. You're welcome anytime. Let us know when you got some new projects in the works.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate
All
it.
right, buddy. Good deal. Mac, as always, thank you so much for being on.
Man. It's always a pleasure.
We need to do it more often, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to have you on more often.
Come north. Or
I
guess
will.
I could come south.
Well, I could come north,
my schedule's a complete mess. I'm sure yours is too, but if at all possible, man, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do the show more.
All right, we'll do it.
Just make sure you edit out all the bad stuff so I don't sound like a complete bad person.
I think you're spot on.
Don't edit out of it. Leave it there.
All right, guys, that wraps up our part 1 of our 2-hour interview that we had going here. As you guys noticed, there were several people coming in and out, sitting down and joining us during the interview, and it just continues here in part 2 coming up. But just wanted to remind you guys, make sure you go and support those who support this show. Nordic Components, Cobalt Kinetics, Frontier Tactical, X Steel Targets, Keltec, Multicam, Atlas Defense, and of course Glock, the official carry of Left Hand of Talking Lead, Graphic Effects, the guys who did our awesome truck wrap. They're here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you guys ever need an awesome wrap done, make sure you check out Graphic Effects. They will travel. I don't know how far they'll travel, but they do more things than just vehicles also. They can wrap pretty much anything. Trailers. They've done things at the Titan Stadium. They've done wrapped booths and things like that. So check them out at Graphic Effects. And then of course 1776united.com. 1776 United does our t-shirts, and we're working on trying to get some patches and some hats and things done too. I just got to get off my butt and get them a certain file vector logo or something like that. So as soon as I get that to them, we're going to start rocking and rolling with the patches and the hats. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you guys are going and supporting our awesome veteran organizations like Mission 22, bringing awareness to the veteran suicide epidemic that is going on in our country. More than 22 veterans a day on average commit suicide, take their lives, and that's unacceptable. We need to make that zero, and we need to make the VA more accountable and provide better support and facilities for our veteran men and women when they get back. Sheepdog Impact Assistance, those guys are phenomenal. Sheepdog Impact Assistance is there providing disaster recovery for our nation. I know they just have organized a group effort to go to the Carolinas there that were really bad hit by Hurricane Matthew. And if you guys want to help donate your resources, your time, your money, then go to Sheepdog IA. We've got a post on our Facebook page there with their phone number. If you've got equipment or gear, they need chainsaws, they need gloves, they need boots, all kinds of things to help go out there and provide support to our disaster-stricken areas in our country. And these guys are Johnny on the spot. I mean, once something happens, they're organizing a team, getting it put together, getting people out there, and making a difference. So check them out at Sheepdog Impact Assistance, sheepdogia.org. And then, of course, if you're interested in becoming a member of the VFOB, Veteran Family of Brands, you can go to their website, check them out. They're all about making sure that if you want to ensure that every dollar that you spend is going to help support our veterans, then that's what this organization has been designed to do. They are bringing together veteran-owned, veteran companies that support our veterans, that hire our veterans. They are thoroughly vetted before they can become a member of VFOB, but you can rest assured that when you're spending money with these companies, some form or fashion is going back to help support our veterans. So check them out at veteransfob.com, and they're on Facebook as well. And if you're interested in becoming a member, I think they still have a few lifetime memberships available, and they're very inexpensive. I think it's only like $295 or something like that. Kind of an introductory thing. There's only 1,000 of those, and once those are gone, they're gone. But as becoming a member, there's all kinds of benefits that you get being a member of the Veterans Family of Brands. You get discounts with these companies, and you get to attend certain events, and there's all kinds of cool things associated with that. And it's only growing every day. I mean, this whole concept of the VFOB is just taking off like wildfire. But that's it for this week, guys. Actually, part 2 is going to be coming later this week, so stay tuned for that. And our big interview with Jason Redmond in the next week or two as well. So as always, leadheads, keep your loved ones close and keep those firearms closer, and your med kits and your training and ...